How will travel change after COVID-19? That's one of the main questions in a lot of travelers' mind. Travel post-corona might seem very far for many of us, but actually there are many countries which are working towards reopening their borders in the coming months. As such, there are many questions, fears and concerns about travel. For me personally, I don't think many people will travel post-corona or post-lockdown. Of course, eventually this industry will definitely pick up and actually many good things will come out of it. We'll get to that later, but for now, let's see the 10 reasons why much less people will travel post-COVID in the foreseeable future. But one thing I want to establish before that is what I actually mean when I say post-COVID-19 or post-corona. It's not when the whole coronavirus will be gone and out of this world, because I don't think this will be happening. I think this virus will be around here always. But what I actually mean by post-corona is when countries will begin to lift their lockdowns and reopen their borders to the outside world. Now, reason number one why there will be a decrease is because many people go on family trips, and within a family you have elders, grandma, you have grandpa, you have everybody. But since COVID-19 is known to be fatal for the elderly, I believe that such trips will be on the decrease. And of course, as the family head, as the dad, you immediately kick into the defensive mindset, trying to protect your family as much as possible. This means no outing for grandparents, and also you wouldn't want your children to be potentially exposed to the virus as well. Reason number two, there is more uncertainty about whether you can visit a country or not, even though you can see on the website that you are eligible for entry. But the thing is that things can change quite fast. Like for example, when there was the outbreak, there was Qatar which banned Indian airlines from coming into the country. That was the thing. On one day, the previous day, the Indian nationals were allowed into the country, but on the next day they were not allowed. The thing is that even though you're booking your ticket now and you're traveling in a few months and all the visa applications seems to be in order, but when it comes to the actual date, you might never know if there's a second surge in the cases and they close the countries or the borders again. Like for me personally, there's so much uncertainty that I wouldn't want to go out on an international flight. Third point is that there will be more vigorous checks, tighter checks, health checks, temperature checks, more intrusive checks at many entry points, not only for the airline, it could be for the train, it could be for cruises. And what this all means is also longer time in queues if there are many people. And some people might not be comfortable with all these checks and might even induce stress in some of them. As such, many people might not be willing to go through all these procedures. Reason number four why travel will be on a decline is because in many countries there might still be the need to go through a quarantine period before actually getting access to other places in the country. Even if you're traveling and you have a visa for 30 days, who knows, maybe you're spending 1 or 2 weeks in quarantine and that leaves you another 2 weeks to explore the country. Well, who knows, you might spend even more time in the quarantine rather than going to visit the country itself. Reason number five is that there might be a need for you to get tested before traveling. And a good example of who is implementing this criteria is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka will be welcoming tourists as from August 2020, but you will be required to get tests before entering the country. So I'm going to quote from this website called 1 Mile at a Time, and it says that Sri Lanka will require visitors to get up to 4 COVID-19 tests. But that's not all. There are so many more tests that they will require. So visitors will be required to show a negative PCR test prior to boarding the Sri Lankan flight, which needs to have been taken within 72 hours before boarding. So you have to go and get your own testing, and it could be free in some countries while it might be subject to a charge in some others. But upon arrival in Sri Lanka, another PCR test will be done with no charge. A third test will be required 4 to 5 days after arrival by a mobile unit in coordination with your accommodation provider. A fourth test will be required if you're staying for more than 10 days, again by a mobile unit in coordination with your accommodation provider. So you can see that Sri Lanka is doing the best that they can to ensure that their population is safe and make the tests accessible to you. They don't charge for the test and they come to you for the test. Sri Lanka is doing a great job. If you're okay with that, then it's fine. One thing is that you will need to work around their schedule too. You might not be free all the time to wander around to go to the places. Sometimes you might need to stay at your accommodation so that you are able to take the test. But if you want more freedom, probably you might want to wait before traveling. Point number 6, the freedom to travel by land into some countries might not be as seamless as before. For example, when you're in the Schengen area, you can travel within some of the European countries by bus or trains without going through any immigration or border control. But with the COVID-19, there could be a possibility that there are more checks or controls at the borders. Number 7, people will be very uncomfortable with long distances. It's true, if you are going to a country which requires you to transit through 1 or 2 countries, that increases the length of travel period and the number of checks and also the probability of, who knows, contracting the disease. People don't want to go through the long route in case there's something bad that happens and they need to return back to their country. They will have to go through a very long way to get back. And trust me, when you want to get back home, that's not what you want to do. You want to get home as fast as possible. People will be more willing to travel short distances. Point number 8, there are people who travel when they go on business trips. So when they go on business trips, they will take a few days off to travel on their own. But now I believe that business traveling will be on the low as well, because now employees and employers have found out that they can actually do the same meeting via video conferencing. There's no need to move around, there's no need to book tickets, there's no need to book accommodation, and there's no need to rent venues and pay for rental when you go out there. You can do everything from the comfort of your home. And I've been talking with my boss and also another mentor who are saying that they won't be traveling as much as before. They can literally do most of the things from the comfort of their home. It's only under extreme scenarios or extreme circumstances that they will be planning to move. Point number 9, even after the borders are reopened, social distancing will still need to be practiced at all levels, and that includes airplanes too. There are airlines which are implementing no middle seat policy, whereby there cannot be someone sitting in between 2 people. That dramatically decreases the number of people being able to fly. So even if they are at full capacity, they are actually at a reduced number from what it was pre-coronavirus. Number 10, one last thing that I believe that will lead to a decrease is also the idea of habit forming. During this lockdown period, people have formed habits of working from home, have formed habits of doing their things at home, and some are growing quite comfortable doing those. And as such, they might not be that willing to break this habit in the foreseeable future. They will eventually start traveling again, but it won't be that soon. These are the 10 reasons why I think less people will travel post-coronavirus. If you have any other reasons that you think will lead to a decrease, do comment down below. We will be glad to hear from you. Other than that, do check out our description for other meaningful tips. Don't forget to like and share this video to someone who might be needing it. Do click on the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to be updated on all of our future videos. Take care and goodbye.